A haunting disappearance.
She didn't strike me as a person who would just flake out and decide she needed to have a time out from her life.
She absolutely just vanished from the face of the earth.
No matter where you are, call me. I'll come pick you up. Okay? It's not too late. Everything can be fixed. Nothing's broken. I love you, Nolan. I'll see you soon. Bye.
A bizarre and puzzling investigation.
From our perspective, everybody was a person of interest.
This guy's bizarre. He was like a sadomasochist.
And a game of cat and mouse that keeps investigators guessing until the bitter end.
Just drove like an idiot in an effort to figure out whether or not someone was following him.
He thinks he's smarter than the judge, the jurors, and the people in the gallery, and the police, and everything.
Love and Lies with a twist of leather tonight on Privilege and Justice. It's Labor Day 2006, and Nina Reiser is expected for dinner at her best friend Ellen Doran's house.
When 6 o'clock rolls around and Nina doesn't show up, she begins to become real concerned because Nina isn't the type of friend who would just no-show.
The 31-year-old Russian immigrant is a physician by training. Until now, she's always been extremely dependable.
She was very outgoing, very caring.
Nina was a lovely woman. She was small and beautiful and had a great smile.
Ellen calls Nina's home and cell phones, but there's no answer.
I think she thought to herself, well, maybe her boyfriend Anthony took her away for the weekend and surprised her, and maybe there's just an innocent explanation for this.
Anthony Zagrofos, a successful businessman, is in fact out of town, Ellen learns. But he says Nina isn't with him.
Anthony Zagrofos comes back the next day, September 4th, goes looking for her, can't find her.
She hasn't called anybody, and nobody can get a hold of her.
Retracing Nina's steps, Ellen learns that she was last seen dropping off her children with her soon-to-be ex-husband, world-famous software engineer Hans Reiser.
He was well known in the computer world, so this was more than your usual case.
But after leaving Hans's house, Nina's trail goes cold. As panic sets in, Ellen hurries to the children's school.
Nina is supposed to pick them up from school that afternoon. And Ellen says to herself, along with Anthony, there's no way on earth Nina won't pick up her kids. And that's precisely what happens.
Everybody said, and every indication of Nina is that her children were everything to her. And just not to show up and pick them up at school and, really set off some really big flags that there was something seriously wrong.
Ellen calls the police, who immediately recognize this isn't your everyday disappearance.
The police officer who I interviewed, who took the initial missing persons report from Ellen Doran, he said, when I took this one, though, I just had a feeling. I just had a feeling that there was something to this one.
Initially, we walked around the perimeter of Nina's house to determine if there's any signs of forced entry. We peered through the windows in order to see if there looked like there was any signs of struggle, such as knocked over furniture.
But nothing seems disturbed.
She had prepaid rent, she had prepaid child care, she left cash at home.
Clothing was still in its place. All of the toiletries, toothbrushes, hairbrushes, makeup was all still within the household. It didn't appear that anybody had packed and left.
As hours tick by without word from Nina, the media coverage snowballs.
There's a couple of reasons for that. One, Hans Reiser is a famous computer programmer. But the other thing, and maybe the main thing, is that Nina was so beautiful.
It seems to be made for TV. one of the Bay Area's most celebrated computer geeks, his stunning wife, and a mysterious disappearance. Everyone was clamoring for answers.
As soon as I found out that Nina was missing, I called her. Called her cell phone, called her home phone. I went out and looked for her. I drove around. As more and more time went by, I would call just to hear her voice.
I thought, oh my God, I hope that nothing terrible has happened, but people don't disappear without any terrible thing happening.
All the publicity generates a new lead. Witnesses report having seen Nina grocery shopping on the day she disappeared. But if anything was weighing on her mind, she didn't show it.
There was videotape of Nina at the Berkeley Bowl shopping, actually interacting with the children, and the kids playing in the shopping cart and things of that nature.
After she leaves the store, she makes the last phone call she ever made on her cell phone was to Hans's home. Obviously, the call was to say she was running a bit late because she was due to drop them off at 2, but it was 2 when she was making the phone call.
It would have been a 15-minute drive to Hans's house. Investigators follow up.
They say to Hans, you were the last person to see Nina Reiser. Do you know what happened to her? Do you know where we can find her?
But Hans doesn't have any answers. Nina dropped off the kids as she normally did and drove off into the Oakland Hills.
The Oakland Hills is a very picturesque location, very quiet, very calm. It's a very, very beautiful area. Nothing untoward usually happens in the Oakland Hills.
Nothing until the disappearance of Nina Reiser.
Is completely vanished. Her car was gone, she was gone. No more phone calls, no more contact.
Searching for clues, police access Nina's voicemail.
Hello, you have reached Nina Reiser's voicemail.
Amongst the dozens of concerned calls, they find some curious messages from Nina's boyfriend, Anthony.
Hi, hey, it's me. You know, don't worry about it. Nothing has happened. Take the time you need. Just call one of us. No matter where you are, call me. I'll come pick you up. Okay? It's not too late. Everything can be fixed. Nothing is broken. I love you, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Anthony admits to investigators there had been strains in the relationship, but he insists Nina still wouldn't have gone missing on her own.
The investigators did a very thorough job going through the bank records and credit cards and going through immigration, things to see if she actually had gone anyplace or anything that was detectable, and it was like she just fell off the face of the earth.
Then, a week after Nina disappeared, there's an ominous discovery.
Her minivan was found about 3 miles from Hans's home, still up in the Oakland Hills, on a quiet residential street next to the freeway. In the back of the car were groceries, $150 worth of groceries just rotting in the back of the car. There was no blood, no evidence of a struggle.
Nina's purse, cash, and credit cards are all there, but her cell phone points to foul play.
The battery on the cell phone had been detached from the cell phone, but laying loose in the purse, so that if people tried to track or call the cell phone or tried to use GPS technology to figure out where it was, to ping it, they couldn't.
A massive search and rescue team takes to the Oakland Hills.
They looked at locations where Nina was known to frequent, including a local park.
They did a couple of searches up there, like 150 people, volunteers involved in some of these searches, cadaver dogs, scent dogs. Of course, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. It's such a gigantic area.
As every day passed with no signs of Nina, the chances that she was alive grew smaller and smaller.